All right, good morning. Hurry about 15, 20 seconds before we get started. I am Dr. Donna Thomas-Rodgers. Good morning once again. Welcome to today's morning mental workout. I believe today is Friday. My days are running into each other with my schedule with my daughter. But good Friday morning. We're going to call it Friday. It's March 7th, 2025, and today is my 488th day live. We are finishing up the review of the 74 principles for leadership. We are talking about how to be knowledgeable as well as the bonuses. Let's get this party started. Go ahead. Excuse me, eating almonds before I came on live. So there's a little bit caught in my throat. Go ahead on your own and breathe in and breathe out 3 times. Okay. So how to be knowledgeable. How's this going to work? You're going to have a secondary device available for you. This is also an online lecture, so go ahead and get your note-taking materials, gather them, whether they are electronic or paper format. I'm old school, so I use a paper and a pen. You take notes how it works best for you so that you can learn. You will need a second device. You will go to the turnarounddoctor.com, which is my website, and I will be going over the 74 principles of real leadership. So go to that tab and then scroll all the way down to the bottom and go to the knowledgeable section. If Kevin is on here, I received your message this morning. I will respond to you after the live, because I can't tell who's on here. It just shows me a number to protect y'all from everybody else. So I did read your message, and yeah, hopefully I will respond before we leave this morning. We got an early start time. All right, so knowledgeable. Let me grab my book. And read what I have from the book. Okay, information is power. The more you know, the more you grow. Your responsibility as a leader is to be knowledgeable in your field of expertise, and I'm saying the expertise now is personal accountability. This will require you to consistently hone your skills and demonstrate technical competence. I'm going to read that part again. This will require you to consistently hone your skills and demonstrate your technical competence. So the first one on the list is to be technically competent. The first one on the list is to be technically competent. Okay, I didn't even see that person I was reading. They're gone now, so we don't even have to tell me they're there. They're no longer here. Okay, for the visitors, good morning, and we're done with that. Okay, should you choose to stay and participate. Good morning to all the visitors and the people who are normally here. Are we clear? Okay. This is an online lecture. I have an agenda, and I'm getting ready to go over that agenda. Should you decide to stay, go gather note-taking materials and a second device and go to the turnarounddoctor.com and be prepared to learn how to hold yourself personally accountable and review the last remaining of the 74 principles of real leadership. If you are here for any other reason, this will be the time for you to exit stage left quietly. As you not so quietly came in, quietly exit stage left. Be technically competent is number one, under knowledgeable. And again, I'd like to say that it's the application of power, the application of knowledge that gives you power. People say knowledge is power all the time. Knowledge is power, knowledge is power, knowledge is power. It's only powerful if you use it. If you have electricity in a building or a house, the only way you can actually turn it on or use it is to flip a switch. Go to a dial or go to an electronic thermostat and turn it on. Give me 1 second, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, so The application of knowledge is power. You can have a bunch of knowledge, but if you don't apply it, then it really doesn't matter how much information you have because you aren't applying it. In order to apply it, you need to be technically competent. And what I'm finding today is that because, and I just was on LinkedIn posting this morning, and there was a teacher that was there, and she's teaching in Africa, and she posted an article about people saying, well, you could use AI to do this, you could use robots to do this, and all these things. They're talking about getting rid of, good morning, Sharonda, getting rid of the essay because AI can write the essay for you. And one of the teachers said, well, AI might be able to write the essay for you, but the essay is to create a better person. And so what's happening is because of technology, people are stupid. I'm going to say that again. Because of technology, people are stupid. What are you talking about, Dr. Don? I know I use technology. I can program a whole house. Alexa, no. Your brain is atrophying because all you know how to do is tell technology what to do. You don't know how to problem solve. You know how to use technology to solve your problem. And what's going to happen is you're going to get to a point in your life where you're unfulfilled because you have this amazing organ that's actually not being used to its full capacity. You're going to get rid of PE, and now everybody's going, muscles and everything is going to stop. So there is a balance where technology and humanity meet, and we're crossing the line. And the ninth grade, it used to be many years ago, the average reading comprehension level for a person with a bachelor's degree was ninth grade, and now it's sixth grade. And if we continue on this path of technical ineptitude, yes, this is how the machines get smarter than the people because the people stop getting smart. The people stop being technically competent. That's how that happens in all the movies. Oh my God, yeah, it's taking over. It's because their brains are better than your brains. So I'm saying that there has to be, I'm using technology right now. I have a tablet, I'm on a phone, we're on social media, we're using Wi-Fi. So I don't have an issue with technology. I have an issue with people being lazy because it's here. So technical competence means that your brain is competent enough, or even more than enough, for you to function in your life. My daughter has over 2,100 appointments. I have over 1,500 firsthand observation. And what I know to be true is that it doesn't matter when a toddler is laying in the middle of the fucking floor acting like a damn idiot, and Target ain't a drone, ain't an iPhone, ain't a nothing gonna stop that baby from wanting that brace car, that toy, that new whatever it is. And the parent tells them, no, here is this nice little hissy fit temper tantrum showing up. And now what are you going to do? Good morning. What are you going to do? You gonna get a robot? Is a robot? Does Target have a robot? And I know y'all feel how y'all feel. I'm just using it as a store where there's toys. What's gonna happen when your 15-year-old sneaks out the house again to go see their significant other? Is there a drone that's going? Is Alexa gonna say, "Hey, they sneaking out the house"? Is that what's going to happen when you get divorced? When you lose a loved one, you're not going to know how to handle people. So yes, technology has all this stuff, and all it's doing is making it so you can't interact with people that you need to know how to interact with. So I'm saying your technical competence has to allow you the ability to hold yourself and other people personally accountable so you all can become your best. It's not going to make things better. It's not going to help you if you need marriage counseling. It's not going to help you raise a better family. I see it in houses full of technology, and everybody is just off in their rooms with their door closed, sitting with their piece of technology. And it's like, oh, we're more connected now than we've ever been before. No, we're not. People sitting at the dinner table with the devices. People have to say, put the device away and let's talk. About what? About what? Where did you get some information from? Where did you read? Where did you take a risk? Where did you do anything in order for you to have that conversation? In order for you to communicate effectively? How? What information are you going to use? Doom scrolling? So technical competence means skill development. It means that you are using your brain to actually learn how to do things, learn how to cook, learn how to read, learn how to communicate effectively, learn how to listen, and then add all of these other skills that you still need. We still need carpenters, we still need engineers, we still need doctors, lawyers, teachers, all kind of hairstylists, barbers, everything. We still need the human things, and the technical competence is depleting. One thing that I noticed, and I'm going to use the basketball example, and we were in Shake Shack, and they have televisions in there while we were waiting, and I was watching I want to say the Lakers playing. I don't know any of these new players. And it was two teams playing, and I thought they were warming up. I didn't know it was the game because nobody was getting rebounds, nobody was boxing out, nobody was doing any defense or anything. And Nola brought it to my attention that the fundamentals are no longer there. And that's unfortunate because the fundamentals are the foundation for life and everything that you do. So technical competence allows you to continue to grow and improve your skill set. I'm a better communicator now than I was 20 years ago. I read books at a higher level now than I did 20 years ago. I have many more skills: graphic design, content writing, problem solving, decision making, new neural pathways that are happening every single day because of my technical competence. I can actually listen to neuroscientists now and neurologists and all of them and understand what they're saying. I can listen to Wall Street bullshit that people are saying, and I know what's happening because of technical competence. So when you expand your brain and you apply what you know, we had an appointment with a young lady about 2 days ago, organization, and she's new to corporate America. So I put her on game. I said, game, recognize game. I heard you talking to her. Let me tell you who you was on the phone with. Let me tell you what's actually happening. That was the meeting before the meeting, and you're the third person. And they already had a conversation about who was going to tell you what when they got on the phone with you to tell you what they had already decided and what they was going to do. So here's a long handle spoon as you navigate through this thing called corporate America. Let me tell you how the game is played, so that you understand what game you're playing. Because right now, you playing Uno and they're playing Go, and that's not going to work. You got to be able to play their game better than them. That if you're going to stay and survive, because they are sharks, and sharks come out swimming. So that's what you need to be prepared for. But had I not successfully became technically competent in corporate America and speak corporatization or the McDonaldization of society, I wouldn't have been able to provide that for her. I just would have been putting her clothes on the rack and leave out of there. So technical competence is anything that you do, you become the best at it, and then you move on. And then you become the best at that, and then you move on, and then you become the best at that, and then you move on. So then you just become this global citizen that understands how the world works. That's technical competence. Number 2 is know your business. Whatever business you are in, know your business. Know it, whatever it is. Know the business inside and out. When I was in the Army, I learned everything that you're supposed to know about soldiers. You need to know. So I tried to read Colin Powell's book. I got 450 pages. Like, okay, I'm done. It's too long, and it's time for me to go to the field. But know your business. Frito-Lay, raw material. Who started this? C. Doolin and Herman Lay came together, merged the companies in the 1940s. The company is still here. Why? Because they wanted to make more money. They knew that they were going to be better together than separate. And here we are, almost 100 years later, still eating their products. Well, yeah, y'all still eating their products. So know your business, from raw materials to finished goods to sell it in the marketplace. When I joined Toastmasters, I understood what it was like when it first started. What's the purpose of it? Why is it international? So don't sign up for any business whatsoever. Don't be on the PTA at your children's school. Don't sign up to be a board member at your homeowners association or anything. Don't be the president of anything. Don't volunteer anywhere unless you know exactly what's taking place. Do your due diligence ahead of time so that you can know. One thing that I don't like doing is going up to somebody. Right now, our Whole Foods is moving locations because when it first came here, it made sense. It was small, but it's built out so much that they're about to make the store. It's probably going to be, I would venture to say, 4 times bigger than the one that they're currently in. And so I keep asking people what's happening. And the people, the cashiers and the floor managers that we're coming in contact with just know that it's happening in May. They don't know where the Amazon hub is going to be and all these other things. And when I worked at Frito-Lay and we rolled out new initiatives, whether it was Sprinter vehicles from ICS Junior to ICS Senior, whatever it was, new product launches, changes in the business models, I was sitting on all those amazing conference calls asking questions so then I could give my team members and my leads and managers the answers. Here it is. Here is what's actually taking place so people know. No one knows. Everybody just knows it's in May and it's the other way. It's closer to where we live than where we do currently. And we are in March. And that's 60 days out and people still don't have the information, which shows that either the people up know something that they don't want them to know, so they're not telling them everything because some people might not be going to the news store. And that's unfortunate too, but that's not what's taking place. And so knowing, asking questions and understanding. And one thing that I do like about Lowe's as opposed to Home Depot, and I'm just speaking from being here, and I really ain't never liked Home Depot, but anyway, in Florida either. Lowe's will literally, if you need something from Home Depot, they might know and it won't matter. Now, we do have Carl at Home Depot, but other than that, fuck Home Depot. I said it on camera and I don't care. And matter of fact, I'm making a highlight. Lowe's, it doesn't matter what part of town we're on, where we are going. A Lowe's employee will literally stop what they're doing, walk you to it, call somebody else, get on the computer, tell you to go get it online. Nola was getting a battery charger for her car. We literally had 4 employees, and one of the employees that actually knew the answer was walking in. And so the employee called him on the cell phone and said, "How far out are you?" He said, "I'm in the parking lot," and answered the question on the way into the store. That's what Lowe's will do. They will go, some people will say, "This isn't my department, but I'm going to wait until somebody comes. You need some light bulbs? Okay." That's what we experience with when we're in that store. So they know their business. And if they don't know, which goes into number 3, they will ask. They will ask somebody that knows. And we were looking for a first aid kit. And we walked up to the pro section cashier. She was looking for it and couldn't find it. She went online. She then called somebody else. And then they told us that we had to get it offline. It wasn't in the store anymore. But that was 2 people. I mean, she was there for about 5 minutes looking on the computer to make sure that we could just get something as simple as a $20 first aid kit. So that's knowing your business. And then if you don't know, ask. Now, I understand growing up in school, you had teachers who definitely did not want you asking questions because their asses didn't know. So they're like, "Don't ask me no questions, on the board, read it, look in the book." And if you are X, you grew up with some boomer parents or some silent generation parents, and they told you figure that shit out too. And so now you are question adverse. "Ooh, I'm not gonna ask no questions because oh my God, oh man, they're gonna yell at me." If you ask a question in class, especially my daughter went to school with a lot of magnet students, and so they're like, "Oh, here she goes asking a question," and we call them QEs because of IQ, because they think they know everything and they fucking don't. But they're not gonna ask questions. There she is taking the whole class period to take a test. Yes, that's why she graduated a year before all y'all. So if you don't know, ask, and ask until you get the answer. If that person doesn't know, go to the next person, go to the next person and the next person. Because why? Because it goes back to 2 and 1. Know your business and be technically competent. I'm going to ask until I get the answer that I need for my best and what I'm working on. I don't care if you get mad. You shouldn't have took a job and you don't know the answer to it. If you don't know the answer, you say, "Oh, you know what? Let me ask my manager. Let me ask my supervisor. Let me ask the next person in the supply chain, in the chain of command." Because that's the answer. That's the whole point, is that people need to be able to answer. You signed up for a job. When I worked at McDonald's, I knew everything about that damn store. And it was McDonald's in the 90s, and I was making $3.35 an hour. So it wasn't like I was getting some creme de la creme pay, but I wanted to know how it all worked. I wanted to know. Some things are the same, some things are different at McDonald's, but I understand working at a fast food restaurant. So I treat those people well. But if my order is wrong, they get checked too. Because I used to have to be the front cashier, the drive-through cashier taking the money, and help on the grill during slow times. So I don't want to hear about this not your job. It says every job you have, it says in all other duties assigned. Read that before you sign, before you finish that application, before you say, "Yeah, and all other duties as assigned," or something to that effect to say, "You here, you about to do this." Right. You need to know it, or don't say yes to it. So if you don't know, go ask. Number 4 is communicate effectively. Communicate effectively is not talking. Toddlers know how to talk. Okay. Ball, shoe, mommy, daddy, ooh, picture. They know how to talk. That's not communicating. Communicating effectively means that people on the receiving end of that information understand and can go do or can use what it is that you're saying. So I can communicate effectively with a toddler. I can communicate effectively with an octogenarian and all points in between, and people from different places, from different continents. As I mentioned, there are students in other continents that are here. There was somebody else the other day was from India. My daughter has clients from everywhere else. And we always end up making sure that everything is second mile service and the best because of effective communication from the time they book the appointment. I'm communicating effectively with you. I communicate effectively with you with email, and I've done that on purpose because that's harder to do. It's simple to pick up the phone because now you can hear me and you can see me currently. Now you can actually have a video conference and we both can say, "Uh-huh, you mean this right here?" But I've challenged myself to say, Let's see if I could do it through email. Because I was doing Zoom back in 2014 when no one knew what Zoom was. That's how long ago I've been doing all of this. And it was once a month with my clients. This is once a month. Let's go over everything. And then I was like, yeah, we both got to be at the same place every time. And I was on lives in 2017, stopped, came back in the end of 2023. And I'm here, but you were not here. And I know sometimes I say, oh, I wish I could see you all so I could do. No, I'm challenging myself. Can I, without seeing you, just see the words and your profile photo, still communicate effectively and convey a message to you? People on lives, I can screen share, whatever it's called here on YouTube, and then we can go back and forth. And that's simpler. But challenge yourself is one of the 74 principles of real leadership. So can I be effective without all of us being together here in the same space? I mean, think about it. Back in the day, people used to have to write letters. When I was in Korea in 96, they used to have to write letters, 10 days for the letter to get to you, another 10 days for the letter to get back to me. We trying to communicate. We only going to have 3 letters in 1 month. By the time it goes back and forth, but those letters meant something because now I can sit there, I could reread it again. If I'm in the field, I could just pull my letters out. And so when you do things through email, which I found is that even if you have that's why I like YouTube better too, because TikTok, the lives wouldn't save, but you can go back and you have this record of this information. So that's the other reason why I switched to emails, is because we all can go back and see exactly what we said and what we did and go, wow, I've changed, I've grown. I remember when I did that. So there is this record. So that's the other reason why I switched to basically old school, which is written format, but technically for us, it's email, because you get to communicate effectively. If we're both here or we're all here present, we're over talking to each other, we're raising our hand, and I didn't say that, and I didn't do this. But in an email, in written format, your thoughts are clear. That's why people can't call me on the telephone anymore, because I have found that people are more transparent when they are just typing, when they're in the present, in their own little space, doing what they need to do. I'm in my space when I need it. And now we can go, okay, cool, got it. So that's effective communication. When I used to do business strategy series, I had to stay after the class was already 3 hours. I'd be 45 minutes to an hour or more, people coming up to me, Dr. John, and I was like, I gotta go. I got other stuff that I need to do. So that's the other reason why I ended up in this electronic formatting, where everything is on YouTube. You take it, you get to it, you turn it in by the end of the day. So it's a very much more structurally sound system that I just keep adding to every single day. And that's why I say nobody is me. Nobody can do it like I do it, because you need too much other stuff. All I need is a device and a data connection, a hotspot, or internet. Bam, here you go. Sometimes I'm at appointments responding to y'all. Sometimes I'm in the car, but everybody understands what's taking place, and that's effective communication. And I'll close with this part and go on to number 5. Is the number one reason why, or the top reasons, one of two, they go back and forth. The reason why people get divorced is because of irreconcilable differences, and that's basically a breakdown in communication. I can't talk to them, they won't listen to me, we got to go to a therapist and all of that. You need all of these other things in order for you to communicate. And that only works for marriage. Then you got to go to family counseling. Then you got to go to communicate effectively. Hold yourself personally accountable. Listen. If you don't know, ask. And handle conflict when it occurs. No need for a therapist ever again. The 74 principles of real leadership. Work it out. It works it out. Because you go to marriage counseling, because you got these badass kids. You go to marriage counseling. Now you got to go to sibling counseling. Now you got to go to parent counseling. Now you got to go to job counseling. All that. There's too many. It ain't enough hours in a day. Everybody learn how to communicate effectively, treat people with dignity and respect, learn how to hold yourself personally accountable. Now you're going to be able to work your ish out where you is. You ain't got to go do nothing else but be where you are. So communicate effectively is not talking. That means that everybody understands what is taking place, everybody knows what to do, and everybody feels valued and appreciated inside of whatever situation you may be in. Number 5 is read daily. And in the book, is reading is fundamental. As I mentioned at the beginning of the live, reading comprehension level has deteriorated from 9th grade to 6th grade. Good morning, Lola. And that's unfortunate. People don't read anymore. Oh, I don't have to read anymore. I can just look it up. ChatGPT is going to tell me everything I know. Spark Notes, Cliff Notes, everything. Okay, well, why you don't know nothing? Why you don't know nothing? If it's working and you don't need to read anymore, why don't you know anything? When I'm at Nola's appointments and I tell people I read a book on such and such, I read a book, there's this pause for a moment. You read a book on that? Why don't you read a book on that? You can just see it. Like, why would you? What were you thinking that you're just going to read a book about that? And it's like, oh, I can just ask. Okay, cool. So your working memory is deteriorating. And now you got to ask, what if there's a power outage? Just a legitimate question. What you gonna do if there's a power outage? All your information is now gone. There's a blackout. State, city, country, global blackout. Who you asking then? Anyone? Does anyone have an answer for me? Blackout, power outage, brownout. It's a genuine question. Genuine question. Who's going to have the answer? Who? If it's okay to not read, if it's okay to not know, because you can always until you can. Until you can't. Now what? Because you don't read, so you don't even know what you did with the owner's manual. You didn't, it's not somewhere, it's not some physical place. That's why reading is fundamental. How are you going, if your working memory isn't working, you're not putting any new information in because you can search and chat and do all of that. What's going to happen when you actually need your working memory? I use COVID all the time because I knew the supply chain, because I was technically competent. I knew my business. I went and communicated with all the grocery store managers, the store manager. Who's that? Hey, where's Jill? Hey, Jill, how you doing? Dr. Donna, nice to meet you. Got a couple questions for you about the supply chain. Couple questions. Oh, really? Yeah. So we get a truck on Wednesday and Thursday. We get a truck every day. Okay, cool. What time? What's coming in? Is it a full truck? Is it a complete truck? Are you doing produce? Are you doing dry goods? What's happening with that? Okay, got it. Now we're going to make our shopping based upon each one of these stores, what day their truck is coming in. That's how we're going to get our items because of that. So reading helps with the problem solving because the working memory is happening every day and you get more and more information. So Frito-Lay I didn't walk in and they just opened up my head and said, oh, here's all this operations. They gave me a big ass, thick 3-inch binder with all the information tabbed out because this was 2001. And they said, learn all this. And I was the only manager that learned all that. People knew enough, found out what department they was going to, figured that little part out, and that was that. And I read that bad boy from cover to cover and kept it for many years until I knew exactly what was in it. So reading is fundamental to your functioning every single day. You can decide that you're not going to read. And I got 2 words for you. Power outage. Power outage. Long term. So for a long-term power outage, what you going to do? What are you going to do? Are you going, now everybody's going to be going talking to their neighbors. Hey, how you know? How you going? And everybody's going to have this nice little atrophied brain because you got all this technology at your house. Okay, cool. Use both. I'm saying use this piece of technology. This is the best one you got. And then use that as a backup. But you're making this the backup. And it's backed up. It's locked up. It's sat down. You can't use it anymore. Focus on the results is the next one. Focus on the results. I'm always focused on the results. If I focused on now, I would stop. If I focused on the fact that there are 5 people on this live, I would stop. I'm not focusing on that. I'm focusing on the fact that my family lives to be well into their late age, early 90s. So I got time. I got about 40 more years to be here. So that's awesome. So, okay, cool. Between 35 and 40 more years. So I'm saying it will happen. There will be millions and millions of people holding themselves personally accountable. That's the result that I'm paying attention to. I'm not looking at this number that's sitting there right now because that's what unaccountable people do. Unaccountable people look at now, and that doesn't require any faith. Faith is the belief in something that's not currently here. I believe that it will be, and that's why I wake up every day ready, putting my boots on to make this happen. So focus on the results. When I was in college, and I've said this before, I used to say my money is tied up in investments right now. That's why I have 5 pair of jeans. That's why I have no clothes and I'm eating rice again for my 3rd meal of the day. Yes, that's why. Okay, and then number 7 is meet your potential. We've talked about this before. You have the ability to have more than one potential. You have the ability to have more than one potential. It's not, they did messed up. They had so much potential. They had so much potential. What's wrong with them? They had so much potential and then they just messed it all up. No, potential means that the thing that you are currently working on, you're going to meet it. Dr. Donna now, Captain Thomas, worked at Frito-Lay. Those were all potentials. When I started, I didn't have the ability to be successful in those things. And I got top blocks in the military, awards at Frito-Lay, business awards. And so that means I met my potential because there's someone with a certificate, a trophy, or something handing it to me. So you have the ability throughout the course of your life to meet your potential again and again and again and again. Unaccountable people make it seem like it's a once, maybe a twice in a lifetime occurrence, and only in your chosen field. And you can't go do it over there because that doesn't match what you're currently doing. So if you were a musician, you can't be a rocket scientist. If you were a rocket scientist, you can't go be a musician too. How? Because the brain allows you to do that, but unaccountable people won't allow you to do that. So if you haven't heard this before, let me be the first to tell you, you have multiple opportunities in your life to meet your potential. If you look at your life in years, then you're going to think, well, I probably only got about one or two potentials. But when you start looking at the thousands and thousands and thousands of days that you've been here, you can do it even now. However old you are, still, you can do it now. Then the bonuses, we have take naps. Of course, I'm a nap taker, been a nap taker since I was at ABC nursery school when I was 4 years old. Have always, that was me remember one of my first naps in my little brown overalls with a brown and white check shirt. My mother couldn't dress us. It was terrible back then. Anyway, I remember taking naps at ABC nursery school before I went to kindergarten. So naps are your friends. When I was in the military and the Army, my last duty assignment as an assistant S3, I had a couch in my office, and during lunch, I would just close the door and take a power nap and then get back up to do what I needed to do. So naps are your friends. A power nap, a 2-hour nap, a 3-hour nap, they work to reinvigorate your brain and gives it the rest that it needs. And so that lull at about 2 p.m., no matter where you are, where you have been now programmed to go get you an energy drink or coffee, no, take a damn nap. Okay, Thomas Edison, however you feel about him one way or another, used to at Menlo Park, used to have his pajamas in his office, and he would take a nap around about 2 o'clock every day, put his pajamas on, take a nap, get back up, and go do it. So if you have that drag and you have the ability to put your head on your desk for 20 minutes, go take a quick power nap. That's better than going to get some energy drink or caffeine, because now you got that caffeine in your system, and it could be 8 or 9 o'clock before it's out. And now you can't sleep at night, but it was that nice little caffeine boost that you took when you should have been taking a power nap. So power naps are your friends, naps are your friends. Don't go and overindulge in something. I need 5-hour energy, whatever it is, because it's not going to work. And your brain is not going to like it. Number 2, relax. Relaxation reduces stress levels. Relax, relax, relax. And personal accountability can seem intense, and it seems like it's a lot sometimes, and it is depending on what's taking place, but relax whenever you get a moment. Yesterday we had time in between 2 appointments, went to a coffee bean and tea leaf and just sat down, and I had a cup of decaf coffee. Noah sat there doing things on her phone and just woosah, clearing the brain so you can go to the next appointment. So relax. It is primary, it's a major importance when you are holding yourself personally accountable because of how much your brain is doing in order to override all of the unaccountability that exists in the world. So yes, you do get to relax. We used to do free Saturdays when she was in school, and for 24 hours we would do nothing but have fun and eat things that treat yourself and all of that. And then we'd go pick it right back up on Sunday again and go back and do what we need to do. And then finally is listen. And it's so important that it's listed twice. You have 2 ears and 1 mouth. That means you should be listening many more times than you should be speaking. So you are listening to understand. Seek first to understand and then to be understood. Those are the 74 principles of real leadership. What questions do you have about any of them? And if you don't have any questions, what comments do you have now that we've taken these 9 days to, I know it's 8, but we doubled up and it might have been 10 days. It is 10 days because of 2 of them are very long. So I broke those up. So questions, comments about the 74 principles of real leadership. I know I did an overview and now we've done a more thorough analysis of it. And then we're going to take them one at a time for neuropability and show you how using your brain and how you can actually use them so that you will understand how each one of these fits into your day-to-day personal accountability. So bravo, kudos to you for being able to go through. And again, if you are dotting, I know probably Regina says she's listening. Lola is working. Lola, not Nola. And this is my favorite day of the year, spring forward. I think I would rather be married to Harvey Rogers again than to spring forward and fall back. That's how much I hate these 2 days of the year. His current version. It's not that bad, but it's close. Definitely close. Okay. It looks like you all don't have anything because it's not typing up unless I'm stuck again. Okay. Got it. I'm like, am I stuck again? And I got to go back out. I did see your comment, Kevin. No questions. I took great notes over the last 8 or 9 days. Roger that. Okay, so we're going to go into our cognitive fitness activities and no questions. And we're learning today. Nola and I had a discussion yesterday, and we were saying, in theory, a lot of people was posting. Got it. A lot of people have a time in their life where they were enjoying a time, whether it's now, whether it was their 20s, their teens, they had a great childhood. At some point, life was good for them. And so people say, oh man, I remember back in my 20s, I wasn't married, I had no kids, I was just having the time of my life. I traveled, I took a gap year, or it's better now. And so what we did, because we were far away from our house, had some traffic too, so about a 40-minute drive. And what I did was, because Nola, and at one point I had got lost and didn't even know what I was assessing anymore. So here is what I assessed. And she said, there isn't a year of my life that someone would say, I would have did that. I would have did that. And I said, no. I got caught all up. And then I said, what are we doing? So I'm 51. God willing, higher power of the universe. I'll be 52 on May 10th. And I went through my entire life, y'all. And she's right. Not 1 year. There is not 306. And I said, it got to be a whole year. She said, yeah, it's got to be. I said, a whole year. Not 1 year, y'all. Not 1 year. There is not 1 year of 52, almost 50, 51, almost 52 years where you would say, now see, I would have did that. I would have, oh my good, not 1 year in 51 years. And I don't know if that's sad or amazing. I haven't figured it out yet because I'm processing it. Not 1 year. I don't have not 1 year of bliss, of extraordinary, of peace, of calm, of nothing hard, nothing difficult, nothing that it's been 51 years of 51 years. There is not 1 year, and I haven't even been paying attention to it. So I'm like, and it's not this trauma bonding, Stockholm syndrome, or nothing else. It's just like, so not one, like nobody would say, well, yeah, but when you in 1992, now that year right there, see, I would have did all that. Nobody would have exchanged, tagged in, came in and took it on for me or nothing. I don't know how to process that or what that means. I'm sure Nola will say something later while we have another 40-minute drive to our first appointment. But it was just interesting to see that. And I know that poem, Life for Me, hadn't been no crystal stairway or whatever. You know how usually you'll see somebody's life story and then they'll get to a point where it's like, see, yup, and it was all worth it. They had them good years in there and so maybe they're ahead of me. Maybe they are ahead of me. But currently there has not been a gap year, a chill year, a party year, we just went backpacking in Europe year, or just, it has not occurred. It has not occurred. I don't know if that's by my own design, by God's design, or what it is, but it has definitely been interesting that there has not been a 365-day reprieve, break, peace, and not from, oh my goodness, that happened, but just the work that I've been doing, what's happening. And Nola, she's honest. She said, well, I know it ain't been in the last 22 years because I'm something else. So if it happened before I got here. So it happened before December 20th, 2002. So you might want to go a little bit before that, because It definitely hasn't happened since I've been here. So that's interesting. So that will be something. So great exercise for you. If you have some years that you can identify, that's awesome. But just go back and see, just do a year in review of your life. Just look at it and see what was actually taking place. Because I was not aware that there is not 1 year. And I don't know that I'm going to do anything different once I process that, but it is what it is. Okay, go to social media on the website. We're doing letters from Louise again today. So, the website, turnarounddoctor.com, letters from Louise. And you're going to scroll down and read X out. X out. If you notice, we're going backwards in the alphabet, descending order instead of ascending order. So X out. I think Medium said this is a 2-minute read. We will see when you are finished reading it. And for those of you who are working and can't read it, go back. Letters from Louise, X out. We are 41 minutes into the live. So if you want to scroll to the 41-minute mark, if you for some reason don't remember the title of the poem, it is Letters from Louise. It is X out. And I'm going to read it too. And then once you finish reading it, go ahead and say your comments, what came, thoughts that resonated with you, what took place for you. I'm probably read it faster because I wrote it. Yes, so Sharonda, when you finish driving, if you just go to Letters from Louise and read X out, you can send me your responses after you read it. Love the alliteration. I agree with the message. Get rid of those bad relationships. It felt like a recap on my life over the years. Wow. Okay. All right. The methodology for me writing that poem is that I wanted to have the 26 letters of the alphabet used with relationships. So as I mentioned, I'm always challenging myself. And it was interesting when I got to the Y words, the Q words, the Z, the X's, and K was definitely because you don't think about those letters and words in order for there to be verbs and to describe what was taking place. So that writing that poem was a challenge because I wanted to use all 26 letters. I wanted to tie it to relationships, and then it had to make sense too. So yeah, it was interesting to write. And I do now like writing poetry because of how it was explained to me. So I think it's an interesting way to communicate in a different way. So as Nola said, I agree with it. She liked the alliteration and the bad relationships. And then Kevin, you said it's a recap of my life. So now I understand that poetry is another form of communicating and conveying a message that will resonate with people differently. I don't think poetry is stupid anymore, but I did up until March of 2023. Again, we have the ability to be flexible, and I mentioned that yesterday. And that's the difference, is that because I'm like, oh no, I think this is so stupid, I would never read or write a poem ever, this is dumb, I didn't do that. Follow up from yesterday: smile and laugh often. What did you do yesterday to smile or to laugh? I did watch a couple of TikTok videos that were funny while Nola was in an appointment. Her barber's wife works at an office and they need some work done. So she left me in the car. She did leave the window down. So I wasn't in the car. I wouldn't have stuck senior in the car. So I watched a couple TikTok videos and tried not to fall asleep. It was not senior abuse yesterday. I'm kidding. She doesn't abuse me. Y'all probably like, that's not happening. And remember, if you're thinking first, ... Now, I will say, as I am thinking about that, no one wants my life, not wants it, but we're like, yeah, I could have did that year. As I'm ruminating over it here, it's because I challenge myself. That's what it is. So if you're constant, because I'm like, well, why don't I feel bad? Like, why am I not? Oh my God, it made me sad. Kevin, you said the same. Watch TikTok videos of known comics. Yes. I wish I had some of my footage. I wonder what it would look like. I wonder what I critique myself and be like, you didn't block, you didn't stand right, you had the mic held wrong. I wish I could see that, especially when I won the Capitalin show, because that was like my debut. Well, it really was a year before that, but yeah, it was a whole set, and I beat the reigning champion who was singing Anita Baker. She was good. I was just better. Okay. Yeah. So as I'm thinking about this, I'm like, because why don't I feel bad if every year of my life was difficult? It was challenging. I missed that. What were we supposed to be doing right now? What did you do yesterday to smile and laugh often? That was the principle of real leadership. So here's what I think happened. And again, I'm gonna noodle on it. We got time today. Noodle on it means to think about it. That came from Leah Box from Frito-Lay when I used to do big things, not big things in the company with regards to continuous improvement. So anyway, I think it's because I was challenging myself. I believe that that's why it was occurring. I mean, and I don't know how many people would spend their entire lives challenging themselves in all these different areas. So that's what made, because you're a novice. So if you challenge yourself and you master it, then you just challenge yourself in more masterizing of what you're doing. But all of these different things, I think that's why there isn't one year, because even if I've accomplished something, so the year I became Dr. Donna, I started writing a book. I became Dr. Donna in August of 2008. By October, I was writing a book of 2008. And I also took that Zom position. So I saw a video of a catch in on 7 and 7 that the Red caught and did a touchdown. Sealy, that was funny. A touchdown Sally. Oh, a touchdown dance. Okay, got it. Okay, great. So I believe that is what actually has taken place. I will continue to explore it, but I think that's what it is. So Nola, did you hear my answer? The ref caught it and did a touchdown Sally. That was funny. Oh, I saw a video of a 7-on-7 catch that the ref caught and he did a touchdown Sally. Okay, got it. Oh, I bet that was funny then. Okay, cool. So yeah, so that's that part. I will continue to think about that, and as I go forward, to understand why that is. The real leader principle for today is read daily. So today you are going to read for 15 minutes or more something nonfiction. 15 minutes or more something nonfiction, and be ready, be prepared tomorrow to summarize what you've learned. If you're not going to be here tomorrow, send it to me today. And if you're going to be driving or working, send it so that I have it, so that I know from an accountability perspective that you've actually done it. So you're going to read something nonfiction, and not the news, but an actual book. Okay. So not, hey, I read the Wall Street Journal, I read the USA Today. No, because that's clickbait and fake news, and it's got its nice little spin. So something on a subject that you've been meaning to research, and now you just grab a book. That means you got to go to the library to go grab a book, or go to your own personal library, pick up a book you haven't read in a minute. However you need to do it, something nonfiction today, because reading is fundamental. And as you do the Real Leader Resources, it is, you have to read 15 minutes a day of nonfiction and send in your summation for that. Finally, what did you learn today? For some reason, I've neglected to write that down. What did you learn today? And here's what I will close out with, because tomorrow we will be focused on neuroplability. And remember, that's neuroscience with personal accountability merged together, so that we will be able to really use our brains to learn how to hold ourselves personally accountable. That's what's going to take place. So as I close out the 74 principles of real leadership, I will say this is sliced bread. It is the answer to everything. So the client that we had, with one of the clients that had the 7th Avenue, they have, as we say in the streets, they sitting on some bread. And so they have time to do whatever it is that they want now. And so the husband likes to find out everything about weapons. He trains with the Rangers now and all that. That's his thing. And the wife is rescuing pets and working with homeless people, because they're both looking for fulfillment. So they've made all their money, and now life has to have meaning. The children are gone. They're empty nesters. They're not in the house anymore. So they have 4 dogs in the house, and they're searching for a reason to wake up every morning. And that's what happens. Is it doesn't matter if you're retired, if you are, sometimes in my corporate job, I was bored as shit. So you can still be fully functioning in the workforce and still be unfulfilled. And so what happens is, if for those of you who have a higher power, if you don't, again, you can be agnostic, atheist, that's your personal choice. Your brain wants to do something valuable, and it wants to do it every day. You said you learn to be prepared for a power outage. Yes, so reading is fundamental. That's part of the reason why I made that the principle of real leadership today. So in your seeking of fulfillment, 2 spouses been married a long time, they have different meanings of fulfillment, and that's what's known as interdependence. And it changes as you evolve. And the notion of, and Regina is reading 100 Years Life. It's a great book that says you're going to be here for 100 years. What are you going to be doing? And then in addition to that, The Alchemist talks about your personal legend. What is it that you're going to leave behind? That's what all adults need to be focused on. And I was thought about it the other day. I'm like, how come I haven't quit personal accountability? Number one, I've been higher power making me do it. But anyway, I've been doing this the longest out of everything. The Army got 5.5 years out of me. Frito-Lay got 9 years, 2 months, and some days and some change. But this has been going. My sister got 3 years, and now we're going into year number 12 in August, on August 13, 2013, 2025. 12 years and going. So what is the difference? And the difference is that it's fulfilling. It gets on my nerves sometimes, and sometimes I just want to go this, sort of like with my child. But at the end of the day, look at all the amazing things that I've been able to accomplish because of this thing called real leadership and the 74 principles of real leadership. So I wouldn't change any of it, not even some of it, but I wouldn't change any of it. I get to wake up when I want. I get to post what I want. I get to go live when I want. I get to talk about what I want when I want to. And it impacts the rest of the world. That's a win-win. That's collaboration at its highest level. And then the messages that I get from you, that lets me know that it's actually working. That lets me know that this thing that I was divinely appointed to do is actually working. And I like it. It's like, oh, okay, cool. But the fulfillment I get is in the whole totality of real leadership. Did it work? Did it work? I don't know if y'all ever watched the show The Finder. It was only 3 seasons on it. And the finder just wanted to find the thing. And when the finder found the thing, it was over for him. And everybody's like, well, you don't want to know what's happening? No, I wanted to see if I could find the thing. So for me, the fulfillment is, can I do this thing that I was told to do in this way that is different than anybody else? Can I challenge myself? That's why nobody would come and pick a year out of my life, because it's this constant challenging myself. I'm a caloric personality, and so we go and do things. And it's not, oh, what is she searching for? What is she trying to do? It's no. The more the smarter I get, the more I'm saying, I can do that. Let me put this out here. That's a piece of thing. And I become this walking algorithm, this walking resource that wherever I am, I get to help others, because that's one of the 74 principles of real leadership. Oh, I got a book. Oh, I got an article. Here's a thing for you. Here's a PDF for you. And that's the exchange. So I've spent these years getting all of this information, and now I'm the Sahara Library. Here you go. You want this reference book? You want this? You want this? That's what personal accountability is. Having the ability to be fulfilled enough. The book Greater Than Yourself says, I got this overflow. I got this overflow. Look at this. It's just overflowing. It runneth over. And it's nothing for me to give that to you. So where is the drain at? The drain is being around unaccountable people. The drain is when unaccountable people don't value the effort because they can't, because they don't have a big enough working memory, because they're not being personally accountable either. When you become personally accountable, you can look at it and go, oh, I know that took a lot of work right there. So this back and forth that I have with myself is the years and years and years and years of family and friends not being personally accountable, not appreciating all of the effort that it took. In this one example was to put the family reunion together, where very few people said thank you for that. It was a couple, but everybody else was just like, mm-hmm. And so it's the lack of appreciation for the effort on the part of unaccountable people. When you all turn in your work every single day, I'm like, this is working. Okay, cool. When you have moments and you go, oh my goodness, I didn't know that. Light bulb moment, that's the exchange. That's what it's there for. So it isn't this, you owe me, you don't owe me anything, but it is this reverence for, I'm doing personal accountability, you're becoming personally accountable, the people that are around you are becoming personally accountable. So the world is better. The world is changing because you all are holding yourselves personally accountable and everybody else. So that's that part. So when you hear me talking about anything negative, notice it's always coming from unaccountable people. It's always coming from the people who didn't value personal accountability. And that hurts because I'm a human being in his flesh. But it's not that I'm like, oh, I don't appreciate what you all are doing. And all. So it's kind of separate. It's like two worlds. The Bible says, be ye in the world and not of the world. So it's the other things happening in the world that I present here, because Kevin, as you mentioned, the poem was your life. So I had to grow through all of those experiences on purpose so I can have empathy and understand what that feels like to have a spouse and shit goes left. I can understand being SA'd. I can understand all of that, but it didn't stop me from being Dr. Donna. It didn't stop me from being personally accountable. It did make me bitter. It made me better, and it made me human. So I can say, yeah, but I don't give a fuck about none of that shit. Hold yourself personally accountable. I hear that. All that happened. Got it. Me too. What does that do with you being personally accountable? What does that have to do with you doing what you need to do to become your best? Because it was all designed to throw me off my square. It was all designed to stop me, to see, was I going to just be Job or just sit back and turn into Judas? Which one was I going to do? We all know which one I picked. So that's what it's there for. So as you continue to hold yourself personally accountable, and that's Nola was like, man, all this stuff just happened, boom, 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 a whole bunch of stuff is happen. And I said, that's making you stronger. That's what's making you better. All these stumbling blocks are nothing but stepping stones to get you to your next level. You just turn them over, remove obstacles, step on up to your next level. That's the beauty of personal accountability. That's the beauty. When you discover how bad of a mofo you actually are and how weak the unaccountable people are because your brain is working, oh my goodness, that's going to change the trajectory of your life. You're going to be growing, you're going to be vertical. They have how many hops, how much ups you got? You're going to be from here to the galaxy with personal accountability. That's why the 74 principles of real leadership are so important, because it changes the neurological pathways in your brain. So you go from regular to badass motherfucker. And that's where the wires are going. What you doing? I'm working on my badassness right now. Shh, be quiet. You over there being regular. I got to go do some big shit. That's what I'm about. I'm about to read for 15 minutes nonfiction. That ain't gonna make you badass. Sit back, PS, take notes. Yes, it is. You're tapping into that. So I'm telling you, as you start, think about a crab and a snake shedding your unaccountable skin and getting your personal accountability skin, transforming into who you came here to be, because your personality resides in your frontal lobe. It's going to feel strange for a minute. You're going to be sitting somewhere and it's going to be like, whoa, I feel like, whoa, what is this jolt of power that I all of a sudden have? Did I say that? Did I just do that? Absolutely. Yes, you did. And then you're going to come to a crossroads and you're going to have to decide, am I staying here with y'all, or am I leaving? Am I staying here in this comfort zone to be a little bit badass, or am I saying, y'all coming? Because I'm still growing forward. Y'all coming? Because I'm still growing forward. And you're going to have to make that choice. You're going to have to make that choice. And that's why I say free will is funny, because people sometimes make it and people sometimes don't. And they say, you know what? I choose my comfort zone. Okay, cool. Got it. I got to keep going forward. I choose to grow forward. Like I said, the people that were on lives in 2023 aren't here. The people that were on lives in 2024 are no longer here. But guess who's still here? Me and the 74 principles of world leadership, because I'm focused on the results. I'm focused on future focused. I'm thinking forward. I'm growing forward because I know what's possible when you wire the neural pathways of your brain to badass. So I don't know who needed to hear that this morning. Been told to say it, and I'm going to say that. So it's just really just that simple. The 74 principles of real leadership are sliced bread. This is oxygen, E equals MC squared. This is electricity, alternative and direct current. Whatever the hell you want it to be, water, oxygen, that's what it is, because it's the answer to creating the best human beings possible. It's the answer. It's AI. And I'm talking about Allen Iverson, not artificial intelligence. It is the answer. It fixes everything. And not only does it fix it, but it makes it best. Because it's one thing for shit to just not go left, but woo, when it start going right, man, that's so much better. That is when you start doing things you never thought was possible for you in your life, and you doing it like it ain't nothing, like it's drinking water, like you got the skills and the technical competence to get it done again and again and again and again, and it just keeps getting better and better and better and better and better. What? Something you never thought was possible becomes possible. Makes the impossible possible. Things that you just sat there and said, I wish, and it's not, I have. You turn I wish into I have. Look what I did. Look what I'm doing. That's what the 74 principles of real leadership and the theory of personal accountability and neuromobility do for you. And then you have the ability to pay it forward and give it to somebody else and give it to somebody else and give it to somebody else and give it to somebody else. And the next thing you know, we ain't talking about dumb shit no more. We ain't talking about stupid conflict and negativity bias and all that shit goes away. And we start talking about, I'm on my 15,000 video. Yep, cure world hunger, ain't no more cancer, none of that, because it's all inside of somebody in there. We just got to dig it out. We got to get some excavators and dig it up and get rid of unaccountable people and their unaccountable antics, because it's stopping this. Just do this for me. Imagine if I had to listen to Don Kirk and Deborah Gray in June of 2010, and they said, what about your daughter? And what about your health insurance? And I stayed at Frito-Lay, or I stayed in a corporate job. Imagine all of the things that you see, hear, and experience. Because the only thing I had was Real Leaders Wear Pink. And I would have just been speaking on the side. Imagine if I had to listen to my two mentors who were senior vice presidents in organizations, if I had to listen to them, who had children older than mine, who had spouses, so they've been doing this corporate thing longer than me. If I had to listen to those two women whom I trusted, who then left their corporate jobs only to do what I had already done, if I had listened to them, none of this is here. None of it is here. None of it is here. There is no assembled. There's no assembled sports. No, there would be somewhere finishing college or something else. It would not be here. So do not listen to unaccountable people trying to keep you in a comfort zone. Don't listen to them, because what won't happen, what won't exist, what won't occur if you stay stuck in Loserville? If you listen, they say, what about your job? And what about your insurance? What about it? What about it? If I had stayed, there is none of this. None of this exists if I had stayed at another job and concerned about health insurance. That's how weak I would have been. But no, because by that time I was in my mid-30s, 37, late 30s. And so I had challenged myself so much. And I'm like, you know what? I don't know what's out there, but I know I'm not going to keep doing this. I know I'm not going to keep doing this. And that's why you challenge yourself. That's why you use your brain. That's why you create neural pathways, new neural pathways. So when you get to a situation, you get to a crossroads, and someone says something as asinine and absurd as, what about your job and what about your insurance? You say, what about it? I look to the hills from whence my health cometh, and it cometh from the Lord. Fuck this job and that insurance. This is what faith looks like. This is what it looks like. This is what it looks like. So that's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. Nola, what did you learn? So we can go. I'm saying do not let an unaccountable person talk you out of your destiny for some fucking insurance and a job. If I had to listen to them, and I respected them, and I, with all due respect, I'm fucking out. Nope. Don't find me another job. I'm good. I'm solo dolo after this. I'm done. I'm done. I'm finished with this. Do not let them talk you into staying stuck for comfort's sake. Hijacking my amygdala when I did. I knew something wasn't right, but I didn't know that it was neurological. I know what it is now looking back. Hindsight is 2020. Is trying to hijack my amygdala. And my frontal lobe was like, nah, fuck that. Shut that shit down. 2 weeks notice. And Deborah was the HR manager. Okay, thank you for that, Deborah. Who do I send my 2 weeks notice to? You? Or do I need to give it to Carrie? Because I'm done. I'm out. June 25th, 9:07 a.m. 2010. Done. Ain't look back. I ain't never been in the store talking about, ooh, you know what? See, those new spicy nacho Doritos with lime. Now, if I had been working in Modesto, I could have been on that team. No, not one damn day. I learned to communicate effectively with people online is actually a higher level of communication. Exactly. So I thank you for taking time out of your life today to come and work on you. Because you are the most important person in your life. You are the most important person in your life. There's no one more important in your life than you. You matter, you count. I ain't said that in a very long time. So you take these 74 principles of real leadership and you got 74 tools to be a bad motherfucker. You got what's this? My bad motherfucker kit. Get my book and walk around with it. What's this? My toolkit to be a bad motherfucker. That's what it is. And bad mofo for you who don't curse. What's this? How I'm going to become my best? My toolkit. This right here. This is all I need. This is all I need right here. What you bring it? My toolkit. My 74. That's what I got. And if you want to do like Nola and I and put it on the ring, then do this. I got my 74. And before you say, Dr. Donnie, you should make a ring for us to buy. No, because when you write them and put them in your own handwriting, guess where they go? Right up here. They go. It's neurologically proven. You write it down, Regina. I know you can't back me up. You're a teacher. But right here. So put them in a ring. Put them on your key ring. Travel with them. Do like this. Flip through them. I got my toolkit. This right here. This is all you need to become a bad mofo. That's it. You don't need nothing else. That and this. But you bringing this with you everywhere you go. Thank you very much. Yes, today is Friday. I will be back tomorrow. Higher power, God, and the universe willing, and we will now be launching neuromobility, going into each principle in depth. Be ready, as Miss Price used to say, put your thinking cap on, and be ready to discover how much of a badass that you can be as long as you are walking the face of the planet Earth. Thank you so much. I will be back tomorrow. Again, remember, read something nonfiction, 15 minutes. If you're not going to be here tomorrow, email me and tell me what you read so I will know that you'll be accountable and have read and done the work. And then Regina and Sharonda, go ahead and read X out, and Lola, and send it back to me. Okay? Your thoughts on that. Y'all take care. Have a fantastic Friday. Adios.